we're assembling the Travel London box card. Now I've got all of my pieces laid out, and when you look at these pieces, you have two pieces that have tabs that are just to the right, and these two pieces make up your box. So we're going to start with these. I'm going to start by putting them together. I'm going to use my table as a guide for making sure that that's lined up where it should be. Maybe. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to open it up so I can work on it. Okay. Now this is the outside of the back, this side. And on that side, this little film strip for your sentiment goes there. And that goes like that. Okay, and then we're going to move on to the front. And we have several pieces here. And I'm going to do a little bit of shading. I'm using a darker blue. It matches this color actually. My color box inks are very used. All these ink pads that I'm using here are very used. If you have a really juicy pad, you don't want to use it directly on your paper, because you'll wind up with more ink than you wanted and be like, oh man, I did not want that much ink. Then you just want to put this in the center of the circle. And I think I'm just going to use my brown on this red. I like to use dark colors, black or dark brown. I don't know if this has got enough ink in it to show. Okay. Now this piece, you just want to probably just want a little bit of white right here. You don't want to put it right up to there. You could, but I'll put mine just a little bit down so there's a little bit of white there. And then put on your lens. And that's just going to go right here in the center of this. You just kind of want to just eyeball that. And then this is going to go right here. You're going to have a slight border all the way around, just like that. Okay. Just like that. And now we're going to flip it over, because this piece is going to go on the inside. And I think I cut mine out in blue. I originally thought gray, but I thought I add a little bit of color, more color to this. You don't want too much glue because you don't want to have problems with warping, but you do need enough to hold everything down. Well, I didn't do great getting that in place, but it's not bad. It kind of adds like a shadow there on the sides. I kind of like that. Okay, so do make sure you put that on the inside. Okay, you don't want it on this side because that's the outside of your card. You want it showing on the inside. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to slide it under my mat. Give that time to dry. Now we've got the bus. So the first piece I'm going to put on is the main piece of the bus. I had trouble deciding how to design this so that you didn't have too many small pieces to add. Okay, now the wheels, I did make these different sizes. So you have two that are the same size, and then you have this front wheel is bigger. And the reason is perspective. I just wanted to keep, and I see that I goofed. So what I'm gonna do, and you can do if you're following right along and make the same mistake. I'm going to trim this off. I should have put the wheel on before I put on my body. And then I'm just going to glue this right behind. In fact, what I'm going to do to make sure I get it in the right spot is I'm going to glue it here to the base. Okay, and then that wheel goes right there. This is I'm going to darken this up, because this is a pad I had black ink on, and I'm going over the whole thing, probably gonna get ink all over my fingers. The pad's almost dry, but has enough in it for what I need it to do. I want this to look darker because I want to give a feeling of depth there. Okay, and on this piece you'll see that one side has a little bit of a curve, and that goes here to be the top of the bus. I'm gonna grab my black ink. Maybe I'll just lay this down. There we go. So I just pushed it into my ink pad with my dauber. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then we have a little grate for the front of the bus. And I'm going to put my dot for my headlight on my thing. I want to turn this over. My paper is textured, so I want my textured side up. Okay. So while there are some small pieces there, they aren't too bad. And really they're pieces that you could add on with ink pens. You could use a white gel pen to do your headlights. And you could just color in that square around that window if you wanted. There we go. So there is our bus. Also slide it under our mat. And now this piece. This one, I should have cut my clock face in a different color. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm just going to ink these edges a little bit. This piece lines up to the bottom of the clock. Just like that. Now this piece, because these are the same color, I'm going to darken this whole piece. And I'm going to do it like I did that piece on the bus. I'm just going to lay it on my ink pad. Got it a little bit, not very much. Most of it's going to be covered by the circle. There we go. I'll go ahead and put the circle on it. That is dark enough. Yay. And I think before I put this piece on, I'm going to put this one. And this one goes at that notch, just like that. And I'm just going to hit the edges of this. My fingers are all brown and inky. That one goes there. This one goes right there, like that. That's going to go right in there. There we are. And then glue it to the base. Okay, now let's work on the flowers a little bit. I use my machine so much, my blades wear out pretty quickly. And they're not as good at getting corners. I just want to give a little bit of shading to the leaf. And I'm just going to use the palm of my hand just to kind of give it a little bit of depth. I'm going to use the light blue on my flowers. That doesn't even show up. Let's go to the next shade up. Yeah, that's better. I always like to edge white, especially, and since I photograph my projects, when you have white, it's really hard to get to photograph it and be able to see the edge of it. And again, just using the palm of my hand to curve my flowers. Now let's bring in the other pieces. And this, my leaf, is going to go on the front of my card. I think I'll fold it. It's just going to go right in here. And then my flowers right with it. Okay. And now to insert the pieces. I'm going to start with the Big Ben. He goes in the back. Just fold the tabs, then open it up. I'm going to stand my card up. And I'm going to lay this flat against the back, right up to the fold of the side. I'm going to fold it over, and it's going to glue right here. My fingernails have turned brown from those ink pads. So carefully open that back up. You don't want to pull it off after you've just glued it to the side. Then you want to fold the tabs on this one. We're going to do the same thing. And now you can see we have these two tabs here. They're cascading. So we're going to put glue on those. We're going to have this side down on the table and bring this side over and glue them here. So put glue on your tabs, being careful not to put too much because you do not want it to ooze over and get onto the piece in front of it or behind it. Okay, and now we're going to close it up. And there is our Travel London card. Thank you for joining me.